I'm introing to that one.
This one.
That one. Oh God, you and Ali do it so differently. That one.
Bring back Ali.
Hashtag Rory out. Cool. Hello everyone, welcome back to the WTF1 Podcast. We are here for the... I'm going to do like one of those voices, like a soft... Hi. Welcome.
Why?
Don't know. Hello and welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix Podcast.
Grand Prix.
Grand Prix, if you're doing Formula 1 YouTube. But we're not. So my name is Matt.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Jess.
And this podcast is brought to you by Abu Dhabi Yas Circuit. So thanks to our sponsors for this one. We'll be giving away 2 tickets to Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And well, sort of middle of the podcast, I would say. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to talk about the Japanese Grand Prix, which I didn't watch live. I watched it today.
What?
Yeah.
Shock.
Yeah, I did Internet's Best Reactions of highlights and watching clips.
Get out.
Hey,
It's Ali.
it was the first time in like a year and a half I was like, I can't actually watch it. I know.
Where were you?
I was boogieing.
boogieing.
What, at 6 a.m. on a Sunday?
No, but 4 a.m. and then it was very sort of like alarms weren't
But
set.
it
let's be real.
it was shown again at 12:30.
Yeah,
You still
I was driving at that point, so anyway. So I've caught up now, so we can discuss. And I mean, you're telling me to get out. How many times have you watched the race on a Monday, Jess?
Never.
What?
I've always watched it on a Sunday.
You just watch it again because you forget what happens.
I watch it again so I'm
Right,
fresh.
Fresh
okay.
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Because I
Fresh.
swear
Everyone
you said
watches
that
it.
Jess was like always catching up.
No.
On the Sunday.
Okay, all right. Well, there's clearly been a miscommunication here.
Throwing fingers at me, Matthew.
I did not
am
move my
not
fingers.
Alistair.
Yeah.
You're not Alistair, that's for sure. No, he's not even here today. He's
I
not
think
even
the
behind
only time I've never watched a Grand Prix. I actually don't know the last time I haven't watched a Grand Prix on the Sunday.
Same for me. I felt disgusting. I literally.
Well,
I
you
was
are
like,
disgusting.
You're just you sicken me.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
sick to my stomach, Matthew.
Okay, I'm sick too. 3-word race review, Tommy, please.
I know this.
How do you forget it's 3
sorry.
words?
This is the reason why I watched the race again on Monday. Because, I mean, if he's forgotten his 3-word race review in 30 minutes...
sorry for being up at 6 a.m.
Oh, 6 a.m.
Right.
Carry on.
We're all up at 6 a.m.
Stewards inconsistent again.
Okay.
Please. Divulge.
Okay, so
Divulge?
I was going to say dive into it, and I was like, divulge.
Max Verstappen got a 5-second penalty for punting Kimi Räikkönen. Well, not punting. Running wide, unsafe rejoin, and got a penalty, which I think was fair.
Thank you.
Lance Stroll got a 5-second penalty for pushing Alonso off. Alonso got a 5-second penalty for
Going over the gravel.
going rallycross mode over the gravel.
And gaining a position.
And gaining a
That's the
position.
important part
Yeah.
of the penalty.
Kevin Magnussen got no penalty for almost sending Charles Leclerc into space.
Yep.
And
You can tell Matthew's...
Sebastian
Matthew's-
Vettel didn't get a penalty either for
Wow.
his lunge.
What a lovely little sequence of events you've just given us there, Tommy.
So inconsistency.
What? Okay, so you've labelled out the penalties. Where's the inconsistencies lie?
The fact that
Magnussen deserved the
Magnussen
penalty.
and Vettel's were probably the 2 worst incidents and got no penalty.
Okay, so you're not happy with that?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I
What do
probably
you
have
think?
to agree. I have to agree. There was inconsistencies, especially with the Charles and Kevin incident. I have absolutely no idea what the stewards were thinking.
Not even a penalty point, by the way.
Not even a penalty point.
Nope.
It's ridiculous. And then the Haas boss, Gunther Steiner, is that right?
Mhm.
He was like backing Kevin, like he'd done absolutely nothing wrong. I was like, well, what did he do wrong? He didn't brake. No, he didn't brake. He just turned into him when Charles had so much more speed. And this isn't just coming from a Charles fanboy. I think most people agreed with that it was just ridiculously unsafe. It was a Max Verstappen, Kimi Räikkönen from Spa move, which I think Charles said after the race in interviews, is that it was so dangerous.
Yeah, someone else was likening it to the Verstappen-Ricciardo crash in Baku as well. Like that shift in movement.
It's waiting for the car to go alongside before you make your move, and literally just
He wasn't
giving him no
alongside
chance.
though, was he?
No, but like he waited till he did the move, and then was like, nope, and just turned the car, and then
See, I don't know.
Leclerc plowed into back of
I
it.
still think like just putting it out there first off.
Oh, here we go. It's going to be a controversial statement. I can feel it.
No, it's not controversial
It was Bottas's fault.
Jesus. I don't like Magnussen's move was stupid, but I don't know if it was quite as like. It was. I don't think it was as bad as that. Like Charles wasn't alongside him. It was just like, I'm about to pass you. Oh, you've changed direction. So yes, it was wrong, but it wasn't like Charles had made the move. He was in slipstream, about to slipstream round, and then Magnussen changed direction, which is incorrect and shouldn't happen. And yes, he caused a collision. And yes, I mean, for me, it was more when he came then back over when he slid off track after the collision. Then he nearly took out Leclerc again. So that, for me, almost was more dangerous than the initial impact. I think both of them was stupid.
He had a puncture.
Yeah, he couldn't control the car.
So he was. I think it's just such a. It's going to end badly one day, because if you have wheel contact that is sending him miles into the air.
Yeah,
it's happened
We've
in
seen it before a lot.
It's happened in F3 a lot. I remember an incident at Spa. Where you wait till the car goes for the move and then you dart essentially to the side to block them, rather than making your defensive move and seeing what the other person does. It's like, no. It's almost like an instant like block.
It was like the Vettel move on Hamilton in Russia. You know the one that everyone was deeming like, was that legal? And again, like, nothing happened, but I think nothing happened because there wasn't a collision caused.
Yeah.
But it was the same move. Like he made an additional move under braking. If anything, that was almost more dangerous than what Magnussen did. But it caused a collision in Magnussen's case.
I saw the tilt of the head there.
Yeah, I personally agree with that, because I think the danger was that he waited till Leclerc got so close to him, and then he reacted immediately to like it. The only thing, like, it ruined his own race, so it's his own fault, but he was always going to get plowed into the back of that. I don't know what he was thinking. It's not blocking someone.
It was almost as if he hadn't seen Charles coming and then looked in his mirrors and was like, oh, geez, and then reacted and just turned right. And for me, it was the most dangerous incident of them all, because, as you say about the whole wheel contact, the blooming start lights were about where the car would have ended up had he taken off. Yeah. And it's scary that Kevin even felt that was a good move.
The most annoying thing for me as well is, so they didn't show this on the TV coverage, and I guess this shows Magnussen as a driver, like, super aggressive, and he has those moments where he is brilliant as well, and at least he's not, trundling around at the back. Yeah. But 30 seconds before that wasn't shown on TV for some reason, he did an absolutely incredible move at 130R round the outside of Leclerc to get ahead of him.
Okay.
And it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And then, 2 seconds later he comes back at him, and then
So he must have known that Charles was going to come back at him, because he's just made the move. Charles is going to have DRS. He's going to potentially have a go into turn one, which is what he did. And for me, that was unbelievable. I can't believe it was bad. Max did exactly the same thing to Kimi at Spa, and it was inconsistent.
It's just the fact that every driver is complaining about Magnussen. Like, do you remember Baku when he put Gasly in the wall?
Oh my god, yeah.
And I'm really surprised Magnussen doesn't have more penalty points, because it's actually Grosjean is the one that's is really close to getting a race ban now.
Because Grosjean got points in Spain, didn't he, for that spin? That he
had
and caused an incident.
So Grosjean's 3 penalty points away from having a race ban, and that won't change until Brazil.
And you said that he's driving more conservatively.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting actually that he admitted after the race that when Perez drove around the outside of him at the chicane, he didn't fight it, and he's essentially started being less aggressive and not fighting moves, because he knows any kind of contact he might be banned.
So points are actually proving to be a deterrent more so than
unless
maybe
you're
a time.
Kevin Magnussen and should arguably have more.
Yes,
I just can't believe
it's strange, isn't it, that Kevin's nowhere near a race ban, and his teammate, who has made mistakes, fair enough, but isn't seen nowhere near as dangerous, is almost at a race ban, which would destroy his confidence if he was to have another race ban in his career. Let's move on to a question from Jonty's Corner. who said, whilst Tom Christensen is a world-renowned, successful and respected racing driver, is it really the best idea to have one who's never driven F1 as the driver's steward?
Ali would be so triggered by this question if he was
like, they're all capable racing drivers, they all know how to race. I kind of agree and disagree with it, because Tom Christensen's not going to he's going to know racecraft, he's going to know, because racing doesn't really change. Fair enough, it's Formula 1 cars, but then again, at the same time, Formula 1 drivers have more understanding of the downforce and how much they'll have to sort of go through the reaction times and things like that, which has to be taken into account in some incidents. But I don't know what Tom would have said in that Kevin Charles incident to warrant it and not a non-penalty.
I think it gives more credence to the argument that maybe there should be fixed stewards. To avoid inconsistencies and the hypocrisies that have been creeping up over the case of this season. I mean, how many times are we talking about penalties in the podcast? All the freaking time.
We love a penalty.
So it's like, surely, so that every decision is being looked at in relation to each other, there should be fixed stewards that go to every race and they're making the same decisions race in, race out.
Yeah. I think as well that the thing that separates the two incidents that didn't get a penalty is the fact that Magnussen ruined his own race, and Vettel ruined his own race.
But we've already said that's not.
That's not a reason to not penalise them, especially with things like penalty points. Mm-hmm. Surely they should be applied when, you've done something like that, because it needs additional punishment, or Magnussen's just going to do it again.
Yeah, agreed.
he's like a villain. He just comes back again and ruins someone else's race.
It's interesting to have he's definitely a character. You can't deny that he's a character and he will be remembered, and he's clearly does not give a damn what anyone else thinks about him. He doesn't care that every driver hates him. Like, what was it in Monza? He got pushed off by Alonso and he said, I can't wait for Alonso to retire. Like, he is just
he's making a name for himself,
and he doesn't care.
Let's move on to the Vettel crash with Verstappen then. DH1 11. Can Vettel stop complaining about other drivers and claim some responsibility when he makes a mistake?
I don't think that's a very fair comment.
Why not, Jess?
He's definitely taken blame for moves in the past that he's got wrong. I'm going to go straight into it.
Go on.
I think I agree with the stewards that was a racing incident.
Yeah. Tommy's shaking his head for audio listeners.
No, I think it was I think it was more Vettel going for a gap, but there was no way that he was going to make it. Mm-hmm. I don't think there was any way that he was going to make it, but he went for a gap, and Max had every right to stick his elbows out and go, no way, you're not coming through. But it's not as bad, I think, as everyone's making out.
I agree it's a racing incident, but it's the fact that...
But if it's deemed a racing incident, like, how can you appropriate blame?
No, it's Vettel's fault. Like, it's definitely Vettel's fault. But the move, what I'm saying is the move... Why I think he should have got a penalty is because it's kind of similar to what he did in... people have had 5-second penalties for contact before. One interesting point that came up was that in the interviews afterwards, Verstappen was like, oh, this is almost role reversal of what happened in China. Yeah. And Max got a 10-second penalty for that incident. I personally think it should have been a 5-second penalty because the move was never on. It was clumsy. I see why he did it, because he was going for the championship. He 100% should have waited for the straight, and of course Max Verstappen is going to close the door. I think that's not an overtaking point.
I think that's the thing. Like, surely there were so many like better places on track that he could have used his straight line speed advantage. That it doesn't make sense to me.
He had with his straight line speed advantage, because he was catching so many people, wasn't he, into that corner? We were just watching some of the moves. That Ferrari was so quick coming out that corner.
I mean, what's the bit before Spoon? Whatever bit that
the
bit's
kink
called.
Or the hairpin?
Or... No, the
200R.
200R, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, what are those names for one?
Amazing. They're wrong on 12 degrees, aren't they, Tommy?
The irony of ironies is that when he was fighting back up the pack, he made some good moves around there.
Yeah.
But it was all done earlier, so he was in front by the time you hit Spoon.
Yeah.
So that was how he should have done it.
I think the reason why I think he went for it is because obviously he's deploying his battery there, and so he's thinking in his head, I am making this move on Max because I'm deploying my battery. He isn't. He's clipping, as they call it.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't make that move, he's probably not getting down the straight because he's used his battery power. So then he'd have to wait another lap. And, well, that's what I think anyway. I don't know because obviously the Red Bull's quite kind of slow in a straight line. But I think that's probably what he had in his head is I'm going to catch him out by surprise or something along those lines. And he's committed to that before he's even done the move. He's like, I'm going for this no matter what.
Yeah.
So
it's a lunge into a corner though where you can't lunge. Like it's not a braking zone.
It's not a braking zone. Exactly.
It is it's not a heavy braking zone.
It's a medium speed to high speed corner. You know, they're still going quite fast through there. So I guess with Vettel having done all these moves before, he thought, well, I can do it again on Verstappen.
Yeah.
But he's not really taken into account it's Max.
Had he not made that move, maybe we'd be sat here criticising him for having not gone for it. I mean, either way, we're criticising him.
Because he had a 5-second penalty.
And that's the thing, like, it's about taking all those things into account. And I mean, I know try and do that at 200 miles an hour in a high G-force like situation, trying to calculate, but that's what their job is to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the engineers would have been saying to him at that point when it was getting hairy, like just before he made the move, like what information were they giving him for him to be able to make, like, did they keep reminding him like Max has 5 seconds, like sit patiently, think about this, wait that extra lap. I mean, it was on lap 7?
It was
8?
just after the
it was
safety
so
car.
early. He had the entire race in front of him. He could have got him. He could have had that position just by sticking behind him and making up the 5 seconds. Like it was just, I mean, it was, everybody keeps saying it, but was it a sign of a desperate man?
Yeah,
probably.
It's the sign.
Absolutely.
The key point for me though is that Verstappen is Vettel's trigger.
Like
100%. Think of his radio meltdown 2 years ago in Mexico when he was having a go at Charlie Whiting.
Yeah.
It was Verstappen. Like
Singapore last year.
Exactly. Like he was blaming Verstappen for it. I think that's another reason why it makes me laugh. Actually, I was chatting to Dan, our writer, about this, and Vettel has this thing about Verstappen that he seems to be extremely triggered by him. Alonso is the same about Vettel, and the thing that links those drivers together is Vettel took Alonso's youngest winner record from Alonso, and Verstappen took the record from Vettel. Maybe that
could be a tiny factor. Probably more the fact they're just crashing into each other. But
he's definitely triggered by Verstappen.
Maybe it's because they're so similar.
Yeah.
Like Verstappen doesn't back down. I mean, obviously, like he was under heavy criticism, and maybe rightly, but before everyone gets triggered. I mean, he's having a stellar time now. Like he is doing really well. Like there've been a few incidences where you're like, ooh, but that's what we want from racers. Like we do want them to be like that, but you just need to make it stick. We've seen like Vettel has done what racing drivers should do and go for a gap. Apart from that gap didn't exist anymore, but he's then made mistakes and he's paid out for it. So it's really funny to see those roles reverse. But I think maybe that situation arises because they're so similar, or like it's kind of alluding to what you were saying. Like maybe Max is the new Vettel, and Vettel's like getting over it.
I think Max is the better Vettel in a few years' time. I think he will be, genuinely. Vettel is not the complete package as we've seen this year. Whether he's passed his best, I don't know. But Vettel has made so many mistakes, and it's just weird because we got the quote here from when he was saying it was still Max's fault even after the race. He said the gap was there, but as soon as he saw me, obviously he defended. Well, he didn't. He just didn't see him. But I had the inside. As soon as he realises somebody is close or next to him, he tries to, in my opinion, push when you shouldn't push anymore.
He was still on the racing line.
He
had every right. He had every right to maintain his line because Vettel wasn't halfway alongside him. And actually, if you watch it back, you can see. Right, Max is looking dead ahead as they're going into that corner. Like he's just like, right, I'm on to the next corner. Vettel is like this. He's looking at Max like as they're coming through. Literally as they hit. right? He's like this, which
Yeah.
is just like for me it screams volumes about what was going on in that situation. In that Vettel thought Max was gonna move. Vettel thought Max was gonna float out because he didn't want to hit or collide. Max don't give a crap. Like
No.
he would rather stick on that line and have you take him out and him going, well, I didn't move. I think that for him, like he's been taught maybe by his father, never back down.
Yeah.
Which in certain scenarios will make him a world champion. In others will put him in a hair's breadth of it, but he might not get it.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting way to see it play out.
It's funny. It is actually funny because I saw a tweet at the weekend. I think it was from Virtual Statman, the guy that does all the race stats for F1, and someone had tweeted him about Verstappen, something along the lines of Verstappen's arrogant and he's not making friends in F1 and he's burning bridges with Renault and all that kind of stuff. It's not good for him. He won't be a champion because of it. And he said that's exactly what Michael Schumacher did when he was F1.
At Benetton, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Michael Schumacher nearly got punched in the face by Ayrton Senna in his first 2 years of him being in F1.
And Alonso's famously done the same thing.
Yeah.
All of those
Yeah,
are
it's not
world
worked
champions.
out for Alonso so much.
Well, no,
in
but he
these last
still
few
won
years.
two. He still won 2 world championships.
Yeah, it's a good job he did. Otherwise, God knows what he'd be doing. But it's interesting you said about the whole where he's looking, because if you watched our last episode of Project Pro, not last one, will it be the last
Second
one?
episode of
No, it would be.
Project
Yeah,
Pro,
so
yeah.
no, the second one. They shouldn't be looking at the driver. They should be looking over there towards the next corner.
Which
so,
is Max was looking
yeah,
there,
whereas
and Vettel
Max,
definitely wasn't.
yeah, Vettel's focus was all on Max. So
Max watched the video. Well done, Max.
yeah, well done, Max. Right.
What, were you saying that Max learnt from Magnussen because it was Magnussen that you used in that
Oh my goodness me.
Yeah.
in that video?
Yep, Kevin Magnussen is. Well, I'm hoping Max knew about this before watching our video, but maybe he didn't. Maybe it's all because of us. No, what? You're welcome, Max. Right, popular 3-word reviews from fans. At TimLack97, mission win when. At Alikale, mission collide now. At James Thomas Otto, mission lose now.
That
A
was
lot of.
And my 3-word race review is mission win sometime ?
Yep.
Because that was just
Yeah.
that weekend was
It was a bit
Not-
cringy, wasn't it? That
not
that,
great.
That they put that on the car, and everyone immediately was memeing it, saying
So what is that? Is that a sponsor or something?
so it's Philip Morris, who is the tobacco sponsor. That
it's Mission Subtle Tobacco advertising.
it's tobacco advertising without advertising tobacco. So
Right.
Mission Winnow is a initiative from Philip Morris that's all about progression but it's essentially e-cigarettes.
Gotcha.
And it's a real interesting one.
Please tell me what winnow means. I've
So
been
yeah,
waiting all
do you
day.
know what winnow means?
No.
So here is the Oxford English Dictionary definition of winnow.
Oh, okay.
So it's a verb that means to blow a current of air through grain in order to remove the chaff, which is the part of the
Please explain.
the part of the. So when I'm not going to go into bread making, but it's essentially like have you heard the phrase "remove the wheat from the chaff"?
Yes.
So you're essentially removing the
Tommy's
bit.
like, no.
You've never heard of that phrase?
No.
It's a really British phrase, which basically means you strip out the bad bits to keep the good
Yeah.
bits in. So the second
The strategy
definition. So the second definition is remove people or things from a group until only the best ones are left. So maybe they should do that.
Or maybe they are.
Charles Leclerc next year. There we go. That's the mission.
So are you saying they've winnowed Kimi Räikkönen?
Yeah.
Actually, they might winnow Vettel.
Yeah.
Get rid of him. I wonder how happy they are with Vettel.
Do you reckon they winnowed the person who made the call to put intermediates on a dry track?
Yeah, no, they're no longer in the sport.
But it's just like, it was just an unfortunate weekend to release
Oh, they were
such
such
an
a meme,
initiative
weren't
when
they?
it was like, it just did not go that way. I just don't understand, like, what happened. It's literally like they're falling apart at the seams, which is heartbreaking because this season was so promising.
Yeah,
They had the best car
for
a
ages.
few races ago, and now they finished 5th and 6th behind a Red Bull that started 14th.
15th.
15th.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how they have just imploded.
I would love to know
Mad.
what's wrong in that team. You know, behind the closed doors, what is going on?
I mean,
at
some
Ferrari?
people. I mean, I don't know if it's right to say this, but some people on Twitter were saying has Marchioni's death actually played a much bigger role in, because it's so Marchioni died just before Budapest.
Yeah.
And it was kind of from then that it's, I mean, maybe not, obviously not Spa, but it's kind of all been a bit weird.
Vettel's just dropped off there. But it's not just Vettel. I saw this today that after 10 races, Ferrari led by 20 points in the Constructors' Championship, and now after 17 races, they're 78 points behind. That is a ridiculous swing. That is a massive swing the other way.
It's crazy. We got at Farhan Jailani. So Lewis Hamilton is showing dominance both with and without the fastest car on the grid, so clearly he deserves the championship. Would Vettel be leading the championship, or would it be close if him and Ferrari had avoided all the mistakes? I mean, it's obviously a lot of ifs and buts, and if he doesn't crash into a wall. And
well, do you remember at the beginning of the season we said Vettel should have 125 points by now?
Yeah.
And they hadn't, and then it's just compounded since then. Like the odd mistake here, the odd crash, the odd think about all the what mistakes has Vettel made? So Baku mistake.
Baku.
He lunged at T1 to get Bottas and mucked it up, overcooked it. Paul Ricard, he made that mistake.
Hit Bottas,
hit Bottas.
Germany into the wall.
I mean, Germany, I don't count Germany because I don't count Germany as that being a Vettel mistake. I don't think that was a mistake necessarily.
Did he not?
No.
He went off and ruined his entire championship.
He crashed into the wall.
He ruined his. But he didn't make
It wasn't a huge.
He didn't
error.
make a mistake. He
did make a mistake. He definitely made a mistake.
Okay, it wasn't a huge mistake.
It was
I wouldn't count it in the same vein as a Baku, where he was totally at fault.
It was a small mistake that had huge consequences.
But I think that could have happened. That could have happened to anybody.
It could have happened at any other part of the track, and he would have just come back on the runoff area.
Exactly. I think that's exactly my point. It's not like he, I don't know, decided to
lunge at Spoon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is another example.
Monza. And we were saying, isn't it interesting that whenever, I know obviously if it's his fault, then yes, he's going to be the car that gets most impacted. But whenever there is a touch, he spins. Nobody else.
Glitch.
Yeah.
He doesn't Hamilton didn't spin at Monza, and even though we were saying that collision was at Hamilton's back end, so you'd have thought that Hamilton would have been the one that spins, but no, Vettel spins. It's a really weird.
Nothing is going right for
his
Ferrari
physics.
at all.
His physics have glitched or something. I don't know what's going on.
It's just a mix of strategy, the team screwing up. They had the best car for the majority of this season.
Yeah.
And Mercedes had a double DNF at Austria. That was their chance to completely capitalise. And
they didn't even win.
Yeah. What gets me is after. So I was thinking about this after Germany, after Germany in qualifying. So Vettel was 8 points in the lead of the championship. Hamilton had just screwed his car in qualifying and was qualifying at the back.
Yeah.
Vettel was on pole, leading the race. If you'd have said that the championship would be wrapped up by Hamilton in America,
you wouldn't.
You
believe
would
it, would you?
not.
You would not believe it. And
it's funny. It's exactly the same as last year.
The
points are almost identical.
It's depressing. It is depressing.
Yeah.
And going back to Farhan's question, Vettel and Ferrari, both of them have made obviously countless mistakes, and this was their championship to win. Vettel should probably be 50 points ahead by now, and these kind of mistakes that maybe would have crept in wouldn't have mattered so much, and maybe it would have gone down to Abu Dhabi, and we've had a great finale. But instead, we've got this, and we kind of all knew that Mercedes would come strong by the end of the year. And
but you were hoping it would be them catching up.
Yeah, exactly.
From quite a few points behind, but instead,
which should have been the case.
Mad. Yeah, it's such a shame.
Which leads me on to the 3-word review from myself. Hamilton simply better. Which, we talk about Vettel's mistakes, Ferrari's mistakes, but Hamilton and Mercedes have been almost faultless throughout the year. They've made.
Disagree.
No.
Not all year. Definitely.
Not all year.
I said almost faultless.
I don't.
Not at the start.
They made so many mistakes.
Since Silverstone, yes, Hamilton's been unbelievable. But he didn't turn up for a lot of the first races.
Do you remember we were saying in Canada he should retire?
Well,
he didn't. Shout out to Sam, seen through glass. But he said it. It wasn't us. He said it. yeah, like
just
we
come off
were
that race
we
where
were
he was
saying
doing
like
nothing.
at that point I was like, Vettel's got this
That's true,
in the
actually.
bag. Like
Yeah.
they were making so many mistakes. He was being moody. He wasn't happy. Like Mercedes couldn't get the car right. They were struggling with tires. They were struggling with like all kinds of
They messed
things.
up strategy quite a lot of the time.
Oh my god! Like,
Yeah,
remember how many times we were talking about them and the virtual safety car and
That's true,
mucking
actually.
that up?
Yeah,
They made
yeah.
so many mistakes.
They did at the beginning. I guess I'm getting kind of clouded by the last few races where it's just been a bit of a bore fest for Mercedes winning every time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I definitely.
But
take
I do agree. Hamilton has been
Since
unbelievable since. So he's scored 200 points available since Silverstone, and he's finished second twice and won every other race. So he's missed out on 14 points.
yeah,
So
which is
186
ridiculous.
points out of 200.
Yeah, it's
is
crazy.
Insane.
it's crazy. Yeah, 'cause-
And it's his demeanor as well. Like there's been a complete demeanor switch.
Mm.
Like even like it was actually quite a nice moment. But even during was it free practice? I can't remember which.
Oh yeah,
He was like going,
loving it. Yeah.
I love this circuit. I'm having the best time.
Yeah.
Like it was literally like they just given the F1 car to you for that first time.
Yeah.
That was literally what it was like.
Yeah.
And then after the race, like when he crossed the line and he was on the radio again, he was like, I had such a good time today. I love you guys. I love
Yeah.
you all. Like his energy levels are just here. And we said at the beginning of the season, didn't we, that we hope that Vettel can keep points in the bag because Lewis just seems to have this thing where he like flips
Switches.
a switch and then he's untouchable. But we were saying like if he does wrap it up in Austin, he won't win another race.
Oh
after
yeah,
that.
that's what I was literally about to say.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your
yeah,
point.
no, it's fine, it's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, it literally hasn't
Here's
won
an
the
idea
race.
for Mercedes: let Hamilton go on holiday,
And then Bottas can
do
win the last
his
four.
do his like Tommy Hilfiger stuff.
Which
Get
he's doing today, actually.
Get Ocon in the car for the last few races.
Yeah, he just not
Just find out,
turn
see
up.
how good he is.
Can
if
you
he,
imagine
if
the
he
amount
smashes Bottas, off you go, Bottas.
Can you imagine
get
the
in
amount of
car.
abuse Hamilton would get if he was just like, nah,
I'm done.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go for a bit and.
But
Ocon
when
can
you
have a
can
go.
wrap up the season with like 3 races to go,
Yeah.
I think he's eyeing Schumacher's record. Sorry, Matt, but he
I know,
is
it
now,
hurts.
isn't he? It's
I-
quite- he's-
I'm
he's-
scared.
He is.
and it's definitely within touch.
within
If
touch.
he
He's gonna-
if he can keep doing this, like
He's more than
don't know-
set for.
I don't know if it is frustrating that he has like poor starts to the season or whether it spices things up because at least then like imagine if he'd have been like this the entire season.
It is weird that he's never won a race since when he's
won the
title. It's odd, isn't
Is
it?
it never like ever?
Never, ever.
No, I think there was someone found a race where he had one after he'd won.
And
but
no,
it's
I'm,
like-
I'm like 99% sure
Tommy
because
has
You've
stats.
looked up the stats.
I have because I'm sure he hasn't. I'm sure I remember reading that
Oh my
last year that he's never won a race.
You've written a beautiful little stat here of like after round 17 in 2017, Hamilton was on 331 points, Vettel on 265. After round 17 this year, Hamilton's on 331 points and Vettel's on 264 points. So literally 1 point difference, and Hamilton's on exactly the same
Playing
points.
out, I've never known a title that's played out so almost
Just
similar.
popped it on record.
It's exactly the same. Like Hamilton didn't show up, started 2017, 2018. Vettel looks like he's coming back, and then just Ferrari imploded. And yeah, it's
Crazy. As we mentioned at the start of the video, it's your time to now potentially win some Yas Marina Circuit Abu Dhabi Grand Prix tickets.
What are the tickets, Matt?
2 of them. 3-day grandstand tickets, including Thursday public pit lane walk, 4 days of concerts, plus loads of entertainment scheduled in the F1 Fan Village and Oasis areas. I've heard that Post Malone has been announced, which is Better
Okay.
Now. I'm pretty sure he's part of that Better Now song. Tommy, do you want to give us a rendition? No, thought not.
I'm good.
As the Thursday night Yasalam after race concert, completing the 4-day artist lineup Post Malone, the weekend Sam Smith and Guns N' Roses. So hopefully we'll be out there
Solid lineup.
boogieing with whoever wins. That'll be lovely. We can all meet up and dance. That's not confirmed, but so Tommy, what was your Yas moment? Oh no,
Mine
no. Or yours?
You go yours.
Mine?
You go yours.
Okay,
You go first.
mine. My Yas moment was when Charles told Kevin he was stupid.
On the radio, you mean?
Oh yeah, he probably did it after the race as well. But it was Magnussen is and always will be stupid. I'm not going to put a French accent on.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but that was definitely the second best radio message from Charles, which was, "Ooh, I'm like when he was bouncing over the gravel."
Something's broken.
It didn't make much sense when you saw him just sat there and then you just hear, "Ooh," then you see the
That
replay of him bouncing.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, bless him. He
Bless him.
was very worried about hitting the wall. Wasn't
Can
he?
we just shout out? That was the second time this weekend that he kept the car
Out
of the
Out the wall.
wall
At the same
At Degner.
place.
at the same place
Yeah.
too. Like,
Something Ali didn't do in our 24-hour sim,
Sim
race
race,
when
yeah.
he drove flat out into it on lap 2 and ruined our race.
If you haven't seen that video, go check out our 24-hour sim race, which we did last year in November, I think it was. And Leclerc actually liked our Instagram meme about the crash as well, which is
He did
he's
the
a big
surprise
fan.
hugs from behind.
Surprise bugs from behind.
Yeah.
At Gubrach, do you think Leclerc has what it takes to do to Vettel what Ricciardo did to Vettel in his Red Bull debut season? And if so, do you think Ferrari will give him the room to do so? Yes and yes.
It's really tough. It
I
could
mean,
be.
you said Leclerc's going to win the championship, and now you're going back on it. What?
No, I do think he will do amazingly well, and I just think Ferrari could
Intervene.
it could go really wrong because of it. Like,
I think it all depends on what's in Vettel's contract. That's what it will come down to. If Vettel's contracted next year to be number 1 over Leclerc,
That's going to cause more problems if.
but that's what I
Leclerc
mean. Like,
starts winning.
if he's
Yeah.
faster and Vettel keeps making mistakes, what are they
What
going to do? Like,
happens?
peg him back if he wins like the first 2 races, and like obviously hypothetical, like Vettel might smash it next year, but
Yeah.
if Leclerc wins 3 races in the first like few,
Which I don't think will personally
yeah,
happen.
but if it does, are they going to be like, oh, sorry, you've got to let,
Oh, they can't.
Yeah,
Surely
they
do
can't,
that.
yeah,
Surely can't.
It could be disastrous for them because I mean they have it going well there. Where
they've got like a
Kimi-
definite number 2 driver,
Yeah.
and it's fine.
Yeah.
Look what Hamilton's doing now.
Well,
now
just
Rosberg's out of the picture. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Mercedes don't have any of that.
They could
awkwardness.
prioritise upgrades and things like that to give Vettel the
Yeah,
upper hand
and-
potentially.
yeah.
Tommy, as you're taking your sip of water, let's move to your Yarth moment.
My Yas moment was definitely the midfield battle, which was absolutely amazing all race, and it definitely just shows that if Formula One is that close at the front, it would be incredible.
Yeah.
Because look at someone like Toro Rosso, who absolutely owned qualifying, and one bad strategy call meant they went from 6th and 7th to 11th and 13th or something. You had
Although Hartley's start was dreadful,
it was
wasn't it?
bad, but yeah, like
Ali's not
You
behind
had-
the camera. If he was, I'd be abusing him right now. Carry on.
Perez and Grosjean battling. You had Leclerc put an absolutely awesome move on Hulkenberg at the hairpin. There was a bit where Grosjean came out the pits
Oh,
and
God, that was a bit
Perez was going
tasty.
That was
past someone else, and
close.
you're just like, this is absolutely epic.
That was.
And one thing that's quite interesting is obviously this year we very much talk about it all the time where there's Formula B
Mhm.
or whatever you want to call it, where it's that second tier. The championship now is for 7th place is Perez, Magnussen and Hulkenberg on 53 points all together, Alonso on 50 and Ocon on 49. So there's
Obviously, that's
4
not taking into account the Force
they're
India lost all their
pushing-
points.
yeah, and-
yeah.
no drivers.
Oh, right, yeah, they
So,
kept them,
yeah,
didn't
they
they?
kept the
Sorry,
drivers.
carry on.
So yeah, I mean, imagine if that was the battle for the title, like 5 drivers.
Although if it was at 53 points, everyone's DNFing.
Yeah. But yeah, the midfield battle was amazing.
It's so close. Jess. Yes, moment,
My
please.
Yas moment. Daniel Ricciardo
Mm-hmm.
coming through the field. I think that was like
Redemption.
redemption. He had such a bad Saturday. I mean, he blew his vocal cords out from
Bless him. That was horrible
screaming.
seeing that.
You don't see that from him, do you?
No, but even like he did post afterwards saying like I'm always going to be smiling, like it was a moment, like he's allowed to have his moments.
Yeah.
He's human. So I just like, because obviously we'd said in the last at Sochi when Max like stormed way up to 5th by lap 5,
Yeah.
which was insane. Like Daniel didn't get to show off that, and if anything, for me, just due to the nature of Suzuka and it not being an easy track to overtake on, the fact that he made it to 6th was just. Oh,
Yeah.
Was it 6th?
He finished 4th.
He finished 4th in the end, yeah.
That's it, 4th in the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, it was
incredible,
really good.
incredible.
Yeah, he flew through, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a shame at the end that they put him on the wrong tyres.
Yeah, I mean, he jumped.
Really?
He jumped Kimi in the pits. They got the strategy right there. Ferrari didn't. Shock. But yeah, I mean, he drove an awesome race, and it was good that he could prove. I'd like him to get. It'd be nice. I think he said it himself. Like, he needs to get on the podium before he goes to Renault, because it might be a while.
Might be a while until he's back
For-
there again. I
for
mean,
maybe
who knows? Maybe Renault's going to shock us all in
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
2021,
You're just
hopefully.
waiting for that rule change again, aren't you?
Yeah, I know.
Just give me something, please. He was voted driver of the day as well, which was very, very deserved.
Yeah.
Our driver of the day, I think, will probably be a clean sweep, but
Yeah, Danny Rick.
Danny Rick.
Danny Rick. Well, that was easy. And I didn't say Charles. So, our podcast predictions from Suzuka. Now, this will be fun. Honda will get a double points finish, which they were on for after qualifying, weren't they?
Well, that was looking good.
You were buzzing.
That was looking good, but they messed up strategy, didn't
Someone will lose it at 130R. I don't think they
they?
did.
Stroll did. Ish.
How?
When he pushed Alonso off,
That's
he went off.
Not losing it, though, is it? He went like that wide.
Yeah.
That was an inch for anyone watching on audio.
Okay.
So I don't think that's
Watching on
half a
audio.
point.
listening on the video,
Oh.
listening on audio.
Half-
Okay,
half a point.
We love giving
love
half
a point
points.
when it's not real.
Oh, yeah.
It's not right. It's kind of right, but it's not right.
Yeah.
There'll be at least 2 safety cars
One
No,
safety
there was
car
and one
and
VSC.
half a point.
Good. Verstappen will finish on the podium. Yes,
Yes, he
smashed
did.
it. Ding, ding, ding. McLaren will do worse than they did with Honda engines.
Just a
Actually
bit.
did.
Just a
By
little bit.
a mile.
They were behind Williams in qualifying. I could not believe that. That was bad.
And they only finished where they did was because of the DNFs.
And did you hear Alonso after the race complaining about the stewarding as well? He was saying that
He doesn't care anymore, does he?
He's just like, this
he's
is what-
done.
because he was talking like he's leaving. He was just like, this is what's the problem with F1, inconsistent stewarding. I did actually like his team radio, which was completely far-fetched when he was like, I lost 4 seconds to Bottas when he was being lapped.
Yeah.
You could tell in his voice he was joking kind of as well. He wasn't being serious, surely.
Surely not.
I hope
He's just so sassy now. It's kind of hilarious.
That's the only way he gets shown, though, is if he's
Yeah.
sassy on the team radio.
Maybe he wanted a bit of He saw.
He wanted some
he
airtime.
wanted some
I guess
I think
after
that's why he because when he came off with the incident with Stroll and went over the grass, I mean, he floored that
Yeah.
car.
he could have gone right.
He was rallying. Like actually,
He
like,
was thinking of the memes.
Yeah,
He
literally
was,
could have-
yeah, he
he
was
could have
like-
stayed on the track. He made it sound like he had to go across the gravel.
He
which
floored
was
it as a
rubbish.
joke. Like he didn't care if he destroyed the floor of that
No.
car. He
I-
just wanted.
I
to-
literally felt every engineer in the McLaren garage on his side of the
Yeah.
garage like wince.
May have
Yeah.
made the car quicker. Who knows? Gasly will finish best of the rest, which again he was on for,
Yeah,
But did not.
but then he didn't.
They butchered the
Half.
strategy,
No,
didn't
that's
they?
not half a point. I'm
No,
sorry.
definitely not.
It'll rain all weekend.
It did not.
It didn't
Correct.
rain at all, did it?
A
Well,
little,
a
little
bit.
little bit on Saturday.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
And
on Saturday.
Ferrari.
practice. Yeah, Ferrari. Ferrari thought it rained all weekend.
Um,
It rained
Yeah.
for them.
it rained and it poured.
Teams will make mini boats and race them in the pit
They
lane.
didn't, and that's the best
I
part.
know,
Yeah.
right?
Where was the typhoon? It was sunny.
And comparisons will be made between Leclerc and Bianchi.
I mean, that did
That
happen.
happened a
definitely.
lot.
Yeah. You
Now,
put a nice message out. I actually didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
who?
Uh,
Charles.
Yeah,
Charles.
Charles.
Yeah. I must have missed that. What did he say?
He just put that it's like a tough weekend for him to be at Suzuka because obviously he was really good friends with Bianchi. and
Yeah.
stuff, so.
Bianchi was his godfather.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What's his
Bianchi
god-
was
Jeez.
was
Yeah,
Leclerc's godfather.
Leclerc's is Bianchi's godson.
Oh wow, I did not know that. That's
Mm.
that's news to me. And Leclerc did great as well because that was his first time driving around Suzuka, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So a
He was
decent drive
it
until
was
he
the
retired.
first time Ericsson's been out qualified by a teammate, but to be fair, he did put it in the wall, so not great.
Predictions for Circuit of the Americas in, is it 2 weeks?
Yes.
2 weeks
Yes.
time. My 2 predictions, Fernando
Crazy
Alonso.
predictions, not
Crazy,
yeah.
yeah. So not race predictions,
more
crazy
out there.
predictions.
More like Easter egg predictions.
Yeah.
We want to spot
I want
these
special
things going
things
on.
like Russian Grand Prix grandstand changes,
Exactly.
etc.
Yeah.
So my 2 are Fernando Alonso will complain about having a slow car. I just feel like he wants to, because
He's going to be sassy.
I feel like he is sassy every race, but since they complained, they've just stripped back on showing him in the
Yeah.
feed.
Yeah,
Because
and now he's probably like, oh, please show me.
yeah, he's like, oh, 4 seconds, yeah, whatever.
Well, it's just it's bad press for F1, isn't it? So they're not gonna.
Yeah, it's
They're
true.
not gonna
Yeah.
give him
GP2
airtime.
engine, blah blah blah.
They're just not gonna give him airtime.
And
But we should probably have a tally. Like hope that they do show it because
I do,
I
yeah.
don't think that's going to be like a one case scenario. I think that's just going to be all weekend. So maybe we should just have like a points counter for
Yes.
how many
Yeah.
times he's sassy.
and then maybe I'll get 10 points just for that one. Magnussen will collide with another driver. I think
That's a
that's going to
given.
happen. It's a given every weekend, and not get a penalty point.
Yeah, probably. That's
Tommy,
true. I think Haas, as I meant to call them, will make their livery a bit more Murica.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they'll put like some stars and stripes on it or something.
Yeah, just a little cheeky,
just a little cheeky,
subtle bit.
Yeah.
Which I don't think the entrant. Do you reckon they'll do another entrance like they did last year?
That's my prediction.
Maybe,
is it?
Maybe they'll put mission.
Oh, that's why you made me change it. Got it.
Yeah, there you go.
And
sorry, and yeah, Danny Rick will have some US themed facial hair again.
And Jess, yours.
Mine are that they will go bigger and better.
Even more extreme.
Yeah, for the driver walk-ons.
How? What are they going to do? What's
I don't know. I think there are going to be fireworks.
Wrestling match between
teammates.
No, between Magnussen and Leclerc, or Magnussen and Alonso. That would be a good one to watch. I'd pay for that.
I just think they're going to be more extreme. I guess that's a very subjective one. Do you reckon they're going to do the wrestling call-out guy again?
I hope so.
You were really good at that impression. Please do it again.
No.
Do it.
You're putting me on the spot.
Come
maybe before the end. I'll just
throw it out there.
I'll just drop it.
Yeah, drop it. Okay.
And I can't remember my last one. What was it? There'll be cheerleaders. I think there are going to be cheerleaders.
So they're not grid girls. There's cheerleaders. That's one way to get around it, isn't it? The fans came in with multiple suggestions.
So this was my original one, the CGI eagle, if you remember that from last year.
And turn one, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I tweeted out the...
I thought that was real.
Yeah, when I tweeted out the things about anyone want to give their predictions, quite a lot of people went for that one, including Kota themselves. So thanks for that.
Nice. At Ronus1985, Verstappen gets at least a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah.
Bitter much?
Yeah, and at LiviciousS, there'll be another controversy with track limits, probably.
Yeah.
Cool, that's it, we're done. Don't forget to get involved with the Yas Abu Dhabi Grand Prix ticket competition. Yas Moment, comments please. We're doing hashtag Yas Moment? Or
hashtag it Yas
hashtag
Moment.
Yas Moment. And that's it, we're done.
You love those Yas Moments.
I was going to do Let's Get Ready. I hyped it up too much. No.
Do it.
No. Cool. Any other final words from you, Tommy?
Nope.
Brilliant. Every time. I mean,
why are you looking at me?
Because now it's your final.
Okay, it's fine. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'll do. Maybe next time.
Such an anticlimax.
For Kota. I'll do it for then. Cool.
You must watch the next video.
Yeah, you have to watch the next podcast to see.
Such a cliffhanger.
See, Let's Get Ready to Rumble. I know. I mean, goodness me, we're going to get a lot of views for next time out, aren't we? And Tommy, where's your Japanese hairstyle?
It didn't appear because we didn't get 250,000 likes.
What about America?
Huh?
You gonna do an American hairstyle for 100,000 likes?
Yeah, I'll do a handlebar mustache because I've got a lot of facial hair, as you can see.
No, we should paint his face.
Paint
the
his
American
face.
flag.
Oh my god, yes. For 10,000 likes. That's at the end of the video. No one's gonna like. Goodbye!